We all know what cults are, but it's finally time for a game to put you in the shoes of someone infiltrating a cult. Interested? Check out my review of The Church in the Darkness coming up next on Mumbles. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mumble. On today's episode of Mumbles, we're reviewing a new game. That new game is The Church in the Darkness. The Church in the Darkness is a game that is available for the price of $19.99 and is created by Paranoid Productions. Now, this game is available on multiple systems. Those systems include Xbox One, Steam, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. But what's this game about? Let me tell you about it in the words of the creators themselves. No one is forced to join a cult. It welcomes you. It understands you. It envelopes you until the words become more than truth. They make you whole. In the late 1970s, the charismatic Isaac and Rebecca Walker lead the collective justice mission. Labeled radicals and feeling persecuted by the US government, they relocate their followers to the one place they believe can create a socialist utopia, the jungles of South America. There they build Freedom Town. But relatives left behind in the US become worried. What exactly is going on at this compound in the jungle? The Church in the Darkness combines unique narrative with top-down action infiltration gameplay in an open-ended environment. As Vic, an ex-law enforcement officer, you travel to South America to get into Freedom Town and check on your nephew Alex. Play how you want. You can avoid detection completely, take on guards using non-lethal methods, or kill anyone who gets in your way. But you'll have to live with the consequences of their choices. Each playthrough offers unique gameplay scenarios and story elements with different character personalities and shift in narrative told through investigation and action. You soak up the story through the town PA system where preachers share their dogma and beliefs. You find documents and letters scattered around the camp which clue you into the true nature of Freedom Town. How dangerous are the walkers? Who are your allies and enemies? How far will you go to uncover the truth and save these people? So basically, guys, this game is a stealth and infiltration game where the basic goal is to find out what's going on in this town, if your nephew's okay, and either extract him, keep him there, or maybe even join the cult yourself. Sources are all yours. Sound interesting? Let's find out. First off, let's talk about the graphics, the soundtrack, and the controls. First off, the graphics in this game. This game is a top-down game, and the graphics aren't really all that charming. They're low poly graphics, and really, I like things that are colorful and catch my eyes. This didn't really do it for me. They are passable for this generation, but I do wish they'd done a little bit more with them. Soundtrack-wise, this game doesn't have much music in it at all. The basic soundtrack is the voice acting, which I will say is very well done. Unfortunately, there's not enough voice acting. So it will leave you at times with the same thing repeated over and over and over again over the town PA, and that's quite disappointing. The controls in this game actually does one thing really well, and that is the controls. This game controls 100% amazingly. Everything that you ask the game to do, it does right away. Again, I'm playing this on the Xbox, but I have no doubt that controls are great in all systems. Now let's talk about the gameplay of this game. We have all seen these stealth games and know exactly the type of gameplay we are getting here. So I won't go too much into that, as it is very basic and by the book. Sneak past the guards, throw rocks to distract the guards, knock out the guards, wear disguises. That kind of stuff is the stuff you can expect from this game. What I do want to say, though, is that there is stuff that you can collect during this game that can influence what your overall arching goal is of this game, whether it be to save Alex, to try to get him to stay in the cult, whatever it is. There's different things that you will pick up along the way that will influence that decision that you make. Sound interesting? Let's now talk about the cons of this game, and it does have a couple cons that are pretty big. The first con that I have for this game is, unfortunately, this game, while it tried... Now let's talk about the cons for this game, and there are a couple cons for this game, unfortunately. The first con that I have for this game is that for a game that has multiple endings and multiple outcomes, where you're supposed to be able to choose what direction you want it to go in and choose what you want it to do, this game doesn't have a lot of replayability. A lot of this has to do with the gameplay mechanics, where they're very static. You can only do so much with sneaking past someone, chloroforming them, or using their Oregon Trail style shooting system, and that gets a little bit old. One of the great things about a game like Hitman or something like that is that there's multiple ways to do multiple things. In this game, unfortunately, probably based on the budget of it, they just didn't have enough things to do. So it does get a little monotonous and repetitive as you try to play through multiple playthroughs. Kind of makes it a little bit difficult to want to play it multiple times, especially when all the endings gives you is a few different lines of text and then you move on to your next gameplay. So my first con is repetitiveness. The second con that I have for this game is the story. Again, as I just said, Once you get to the payoff, there's only a few lines of text. But beyond that, most of this story is played out in actual text that you read. And if you're anything like most gamers out there, reading something that's pages and pages long really isn't going to interest you. So that's a pretty big con all in itself. All now that's really left is to put it all together for my overall score, my Mumbles score. And what's this thing going to get on our Mumbles review? Guys, I love stealth games. I really truly do. I love games that give you a decision. Games such as Mass Effect, where you get to choose multiple outcomes and it affects the story, are some of my favorite games in the world. I really, really, really love those games. So I had high hopes for this game that it was going to give you something that would be rewarding to play. Sadly, this game falls short for me, and it's just in a couple ways. First off, the repetitiveness, guys, as I said before. That's something that really kills it for me. When I have these decision-based games, I want the decisions to really, really impact the gameplay. How I do things, I want to matter. And this game didn't really seem to make it matter too much. Giving me a line or two of text that tells me, hey, this happened, isn't all that rewarding. I'm sorry, it's just not. So, a little disappointing in that. And that is going to be where my major score lies with this game. It's for that reason, guys, on today's Mumbles review, I'm giving this game a 5 out of 10 on our Mumbles review. It's a good game for one playthrough, but beyond that, it's hard to sit down and want to play this game over and over and over again like you do some of these stealth games. It's just not enough there. It's still a great made game, and it still has some playability into it, but I just don't feel like it did enough to warrant multiple endings. Anyways, guys, this has been my review of Church in the Darkness. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Please smack that subscribe button, smack that like button, smack all those buttons. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.